All right, guys, if you were with us last night, you got to see everything that happened on Beatties Ford Road out in front of the Metro Division Police Station. There are a few protests organized for today. There's been a lot of question about who's been organizing these protests and whether they live in town or not. A few of them today have been canceled. There's supposed to be one out in front of the CMPD headquarters in Uptown. I just drove by there. There's nobody there. There are about 100 people, maybe more, gathered at the statue at Marshall Park in Charlotte on can't remember what street this is. I think it's Trade Street or 3rd Street or something, but we're gonna get in here and just see what's going on. Hey, Grant.
Hey, buddy. Nice to see you, sir.
All of our friends from yesterday will be on here listening with us. Here's Grant. He was with us all night. He was our photojournalist for Queen City Nerve. You're gonna see a lot of pictures from him from everything that's going on this weekend over the next few days.
From yesterday, I'm actually with a different outlet today.
Oh,
I mean,
so this is just a coincidence.
Yeah.
You're gonna see.
The right place at the right time.
You're gonna see pictures. All right. Do you know exactly what this is? This is a White Allies rally, right?
Correct. Yes.
All right. So this is a rally for White Allies. I heard that there is an event going on at Romare Bearden Park at some point in time today. Ryan, our editor-in-chief, he's gonna check that one out and report back. If it's something that we need to go to, then we'll get there. Right now, everything here seems peaceful. Jesus Saves guys here. Sam, he's not yelling. There's one person talking in the middle. Can't hear. Couldn't even get close enough for you to. So here in a minute, I'm gonna walk around and just see what's going on. No, nobody's getting uppity. Yeah, his Instagram is at CLT Photojourno. Journo. Oh, she got on the other side of the statue.
Justice and injustice, how to work through hate from a variety of different standpoints. And one of the fundamental things that I try to offer is the opposite of race. I'm not, hear a lot about, well, I'm not racist, I'm not racist. And there's a new movement coming out that it's not enough to be not racist.
This is a White Allies rally.
Anti-racist. It's not enough to say I don't hate. Martin Luther King talks about love. It's not enough to just say I don't hate you. We need to move past that to the other side of that, which is love and compassion. And so I wanted to talk about the word compassion. Compassion often gets a weak rap. When we think about compassion and love, we think, and Martin Luther King struggled with that, particularly with Malcolm X and the time that they both were moving in this movement. Martin Luther King oftentimes was painted as a pacifist. Weak. But in fact, love is fierce. Compassion is
Yeah, my
fierce.
battery's full.
And we are all here standing up for compassionate boundaries. Say, I no longer believe that this is okay. I never did. I'm going to stand up and have a fierce boundary. So how we start to create change, we start within. The gentleman who said perception is reality. That is not true, and that is really
Maybe there's right around 100 people here. It's very calm, it's very quiet. I don't know much about this event, so I don't know if they plan to march or if this is where they're gathering. But that's what we're here to find out. Seems that organizers are going to speak one at a time. I got somebody over here that I'm going to interview in a second. Give you guys more context on what's happening. Hey, that guy almost spit on me yesterday. This is Marshall Park on 3rd Street, Charlotte. I'm just gonna hang back for a little bit and kind of wait until I can talk to the organizers to figure out exactly what the plan is for the rest of the day. The group doesn't seem to be growing anymore. Looks like this is how it might max out. But it's still early. Oh, we're moving out. All right. Let's see where this takes us. Much smaller group than yesterday. You know, we maxed out at about 700 people yesterday. We're about 1/7 of that right now. Everything seems very peaceful. It looks like they're about to organize to start marching. I don't know if we'll be marching through the streets or on the sidewalk, but we'll see what happens. All right, I hear that we're walking to the police station, which is how last night started.
All police together, they're gonna knock you out in about 30 seconds. If they hold that on you over 40 seconds, you're gonna die. I'm saying exactly what you're saying is correct. That man was killed by some kind of lead, something stuck in his back. That's why they had him hiding behind that wheel, so you couldn't see what they were doing.
She's freaking out because I'm by myself.
Well, you're not by yourself. Yeah.
Can I get a picture with y'all? You take a picture.
Sure.
Let the camera right there. I gotta take them back to my truck. I gotta wake them up. I gotta wake them up tomorrow. Now these ladies come out and help me, y'all, and y'all sit in the house. Hey, y'all gonna be the main soccer next week.
There you go.
I got a picture to put it up there. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to catch up with them in a second. I really want to talk to one of these organizers about what the goal is here today. Very, very peaceful out here. I think everybody understands the circumstances of last night and what happened.
Jennifer, are you walking or are you staying?
I'm not walking.
Okay, I just wanted to say.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Cass.
Jen, you helped organize this, right?
In so many words, yes. For lack of a better word. Actually,
What? Do you have a Facebook page?
Yeah. So just go to Jennifer Moxley. Yeah, I'll give you my card. That'll be an easy
Oh, you
one.
have a card?
Yes, thank you for being here. You also noted there were no police here, right?
Well, there's just 2 cars up there, yeah.
right, just
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
But please.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute,
No,
yeah.
there's no cops here.
Yeah. I was
No
just,
cops contacted us, and no cops asked what we were doing.
because it's a White Allies event.
We're white.
Yeah. I was hoping that you could kind of just for a second touch on what the goal of today is, where the march is going, if you plan on more
That's
people
not our
gathering.
thing. They just decided
Oh, this
to do
is
that
just
because they felt
separate?
compelled. No, it's
Sure.
not separate.
I was like, y'all just go socially distance.
Oh, gotcha.
Andre and I honestly have never done this before.
Sure.
So it literally was, we picked a date, a time, and a location to give white people an opportunity to do something. And then it's unfolded from there. And
Okay.
That's how we got to this point.
How long has everybody been out here so far? It started at 1?
So we got here at 12. No,
12.
we're the 12 o'clock one. The 1
Gotcha.
o'clock one was over there.
And they canceled, I understand.
Oh, yeah, the one at the
Thank you for
at
coming. It's good
CMPD.
to see you.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, so that's it in a gist. Everybody here was gathered to address their privilege, essentially.
No, we were here
Um,
to show that we are ready to act for the black community.
And that.
No, this was not to address our privilege.
Oh, at all.
No,
Okay.
that's how it started.
Oh, gotcha.
Be really
No.
careful because actually there are people sending around emails from your publication, I believe, that confused us with another event, and there are people saying that we're trying to make this about, white supremacy and all this other
Is that
stuff.
true,
So please
Justin?
be,
No, not at
no,
all.
I'm just saying, please be really crystal clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we're not.
We're always crystal clear. That's why I'm out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because there's so many back and forths about who is organizing what.
Well, a
There
lot
were
of
about
people-
4 or 5
a
protests
lot
planned
of
for
people
today.
were criticizing us and didn't even know us and didn't even ask any
Questions. And I had a lot of friends that had to clarify misinformation. And then somehow,
because a white lady organized that one, they lumped us into that one thinking we were that because we're white. But no,
And because of last night, because that was supposedly organized by white people, then it
Right.
was like, if white people organize it, don't go.
right, and that's not
at all what we're about. So Andrea and I, when we started talking about having an event, there was nothing planned. I'm in conversation with several other organizations.
that are black-led, and they are not. They at the time were not planning anything solid.
So I said, we decided Saturday, 12 to 2, Marshall Park. This is where people protest and gather. And so that was it. That was the extent of it. And just told people to show up. White allies, white people who want to do something and show that there are more of us who want to help and dismantle racism than the ones that we see and hear show up. And so I'm very overwhelmed. We had so many people of color here share their stories, come to support us. Some came to see what we were doing, very understandably. We had wonderful dialogues with people we didn't know, and I think it is exactly what Charlotte needs. We need to understand that there are white people here who recognize systemic oppression and racism in this city. And we've been working behind the scenes. I'm sure you have too. You don't randomly show up at a protest where you don't know anybody just out of the blue. So there is work being done in all these spaces it's just not as visible and loud as the oppressor and the racists. And so it's very important that we're seen as we're here for our Black community and our Black neighbors, and we're here to act, and we're ready and going to continue doing those things. Our group, we've been circulating in our group to now attend the NAACP event Tuesday at 4:45. So we don't have.
Is that
doing
the
another
NAACP or the ACLU?
No, NAACP is
Okay,
Tuesday.
gotcha.
At 4:45, and there's a couple others that have popped up since we posted ours that we understand are reliable Charlotte residents, led by minority voices and people who are on the front lines of advocacy, because we are certainly not protesters, but we're advocates and working every single day. And it was interesting just trying to get people here the past 24 hours from threats that were made and discrediting that was done by a lot of white people trying to say that we aren't legitimate, that we don't have our heart in the right place. Not even like, how is that helping anything to undermine a movement to support a unified effort? I just don't understand without any basis of information, because it doesn't take long to talk to me to understand the places I work in the community and the work that I do. And you can't be any different if you start a whole page out of nowhere. Like, we're not, it's disheartening. And I had to tell a couple people, frankly, you are a white person who's trying to own the white people movement, and that's not helping any minorities. So that's part of this work.
Totally. And that's why we discussed last night that you should always be very careful when attending protests and research the organizers, because some people are doing it for harm. Here, it was for peace.
They did research us and we passed the test.
Yeah, and that's why that seems to be why the 3 other ones got canceled.
Exactly, because we are legitimately in this community every day working.
Yeah.
And let's also note that not one cop followed Lamar.
No. And we knew, and that's the other thing, Justin. We had many white women who've never attended a protest scared because of all the visuals of tear gas and, do we bring milk? And I don't know what to wear, and I don't know how. 3 gallons of milk. They brought milk because they didn't know for the tear gas.
Yeah.
Literally scared because they've never done this and they didn't know. And you know what? Consistently, we told them, we are white women. The cops are not going to bother us. That is why we have to do this. That's exactly why. The spaces I can go in that Tandy cannot go in is exactly why we had to be here today.
On my drive over here, there was the same blockade that there was outside of the Metro Division station, the car blockers, over on Alexander Street outside of the police station, probably in preparation for the 1 o'clock that was supposed to happen at the headquarters.
Right.
Since that didn't happen, every officer that I saw on my way here was actually driving in the opposite direction of this demonstration. And there were no police here at all. I'm going to run and catch up with the group that started walking just to...
It's not even a surprise the police weren't here.
Well, yeah, I get that.
That's the problem.
It's a surprise probably to some people who are naive in that, but that's why I'm saying it. Yeah.
No, we are treated differently, and
Yes.
that's why we are here.
Oh, I know.
We recognize
I got
that.
treated differently last night. I totally get it. I totally understand. I'm a white man in the media.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go catch up with that walk.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Was there another one that I should grab? You want to take this milk with you for later?
Yeah, you know what? I might get myself into something. I could take one at least. I don't. But I brought a backpack this time. And no worries, everybody. If this goes another 7 hours, I brought 3 battery packs with me.
What do you think? Should I throw it in here or leave it on top?
Leave it on top. You never know if somebody needs it. I'm gonna throw this in my backpack. I'm gonna set my phone down here for a second. You know, as a member of the media, I should not intervene in protests, but if somebody's getting tear gas, I can at least give them some milk to wash their face off, because that sucks. I really let these people get away from me, so I'm going to try and catch up to them for a second. pull my mask down. The feet are all blistered up from last night. So the people that we just talked to, it's Jennifer Moxley. I didn't get the names of anybody else. They kind of collectively, in so many words, as she said, helped organize this gathering today. It was supposed to just be at Marshall Park for a couple hours to discuss how white people can support and impact change in our communities against the oppression of black and brown people. The group collectively decided to walk up to CMPD. As you can tell, there were no officers around when I got up. I assume if they're standing out in front of the headquarters chanting anything, that we're about to see a good police presence here in a second. No blisters. That was stupid of me to try and grab that, but whatever. All right, we're getting closer to where they are. It is a nice day. I'm dressed from head to toe in all black though, so I'm gonna be wet here in a minute. If you're just tuning in, I know that this part is a little boring. There were a group of about 150 people gathered at Marshall Park for a White Allies rally. Shortly after I got there, there were a couple of people speaking to the crowd about what they can do to show their support. They gathered up and walked up to the CMPD headquarters, which is where I'm going right now. Kind of just see what's going on. It's just before that next intersection, so we're not far away. Yeah, whereas last night, it seemed like there were about 80 people that had masks on. I'm sorry, 80%. A lot more people have masks on at this event. I can hear the Jesus Saves guy already, so at least one person's yelling. All right, they're gathered right in front of the front door of the police station. See officers and protesters. From back here, it seems peaceful. A couple of "fuck the police" signs. Looks like they got the road blocked off here. Looks like they sent officers out to mingle with the crowd again like they did last night. They got the street blocked off in both directions. So they knew this was going to happen. There are more people here now than there were at the park.
Jesus Christ loves you guys.
Couple of peaceful talks with officers, just like last night started.
And then someone like 6 officers rushed forward, grabbing him, dragging him back.
A couple of these officers, this one, that one, and this one, they were at the protest last night on Beatty's Ford Road. Here's the crowd. This was the first. This was the most. This officer was the most involved last night. So, same outreach officers for the crowd. This is the same group of officers that were retreated back into the precinct before they came out in riot gear. People today seem more willing to listen and have discussions. It's not more opposition. So, could stay peaceful. How are you, sir? Good. So, your group was out last night at the protests. You came out initially when everybody walked up, did some mingling in the crowd, walked with everybody down to LaSalle Street and back before they kind of advanced on you before you had to go back into the police station. Can you kind of talk to me about what that experience was like for you guys? What your goal is out here in interacting with the crowd?
We have a group of officers who volunteer for and what we've noticed is most people want to be seen and heard. And right now people are mad at this uniform across the country. And they want people in this uniform to hear them and raise their signs and also just talk about it. If there's questions we can answer, we want to do that for people. So that's the ultimate goal, is to come out here, make sure the community knows how, hear what you're saying.
There was an officer way back in the parking lot behind everything.
Because if you don't give people that opportunity, then they're going to make sure that their message is heard, and that can take forms of breaking windows or looting, or whatever. This is much more productive for both sides.
There was nothing happening.
This isn't two sides, so to speak. I mean, we're all, do you live here in Charlotte?
I do.
I live here in Charlotte, so we're Charlotte. It's not a different.
We're like, what was that? We did it again. And that's the.
How old
And now the windows aren't.
I'm 27.
I'm 38, so I'm not too much older than you, but there are issues. Let's work together. Let's change those issues. Let's build upon the progress that has been made and keep it going.
75 officers were there. And somebody was
That's
giving
what
an
we're all
order
here
to
to
go
do.
stir up something.
It's our goal, this small group, to come out,
I'm there. I want to be on this
talk to people.
Sort of a community outreach team.
Sales community outreach.
Yeah.
And this isn't our normal facility. All of us come from different divisions and have different responsibilities, day-to-day responsibilities. This is just something else that we need volunteer for.
And I assume that you guys are absolutely prepared for the same thing that happened last night to happen here, just in case. Right, yeah.
So our function is to come out and talk. We'll stand out here and we'll talk to everybody as long as they'll let us to. But once it becomes unsafe, then our group,
Yeah.
we retreat back in.
And then was everybody in this group, were they part of the officers that donned the riot gear and held the line?
The officers that are out here now?
Yeah. No.
We don't perform any of that function.
Gotcha. Okay. Because you're a lieutenant, so you're high ranking. I would assume that you're not on the front lines doing that stuff anymore.
Correct. But we do have, like, he's an operational level officer.
Sure.
She's a sergeant, first line supervisor.
Okay.
But, so I say all that to illustrate, our function is completely different.
Gotcha.
We are out here to hear people, talk to people, answer questions you might have, make sure they know that their message is being seen by the police. So once it's deemed unsafe for us to remain in this capacity, then the bikes do their thing, the people are gone, right here.
And that was, and she turned into a joke. she's like, all right, I'll go to the next
Gotcha.
Hopefully, we can bring the environment back where it's safe enough for us to come back out.
Sure. All right, cool. Thanks. How do you say your name? Fishbach?
Fishback. Yeah,
Back.
fishback.
Back.
It's Americanized to fishback.
Sure. Gotcha.
And you're with the Nerve?
Yeah, Queen City Nerve.
I haven't read the publication, but I will try to.
Yeah.
Online presence.
Yeah, we have an online presence. We have newspapers all across Mecklenburg County. We actually had a box in front of the other entrance where we distribute the papers. We do a scanner section where my editor-in-chief pulls all the police reports and writes up the funniest ones. So that's popular amongst the police department. You guys aren't allowed to acknowledge it, but it's pretty funny. Yep, I'm just here to get both sides of everything and document what's happening. Thank you. The crowd has grown a little bit across the street. They're starting to chant now. So Lieutenant Fishbach, he kind of gave you an inside description of what this group is out here to do. It's the same group that came out at the Beatties Ford Road station last night, which means that they are openly aware of the protests that are forming, and they're out here kind of just to interact with the community. Like he said, as soon as they feel that it's unsafe for them, that's when they go back and the bike cops and the riot gear come out. So we're gonna keep watching. I'm gonna walk through the crowd, see what happens. Sorry, I'm reading the comments.
That man got some kind of bruises in his back. I guess some kind of that man was kicking in his back. I can keep on seeing that autopsy. He didn't die with no pressure on his
I
head.
realized my whole face is covered.
Well, sorry you couldn't really hear him. I tried my best.
But did you recognize that most of these officers out here are the same ones?
It's all of them,
Came out
yeah.
to talk to people.
That's what I was talking to him about. He was saying that they are part of a community outreach team, so they're aware of where and when these are happening, and they come beforehand so that they can be here to talk to him.
Oh, okay.
He said that these guys operate in a different capacity, so as soon as it's not safe for them, because I asked him if these officers were the same ones that put on the riot gear and tried to push back the people that they were talking to. He says no. So yeah.
Interesting. Oh, thank you.
She checked her hair and shit. All over the place. She showed me.
No justice!
No peace!
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 No justice!
I understand that some of you couldn't hear what that officer said, so in a minute I'll walk away and kind of give you a summary of what he was saying. It was very public relation-y, but I'll give you the summary. Now, just so that you're aware, we're out here for both sides of the story. I, of course, have my own personal beliefs, but my reporting is meant to be unbiased.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace!
The protests last night started out just as peaceful as this, although it was later in the day. There's less media out here.
Jesus Christ loves you guys! Jesus loves you!
So as it seems, the gathering at Marshall Park was the white ally part. The march up to here is more of a generalized Occupy protest. Same as last night, the outreach officers are in the crowd talking to people. There are multiple police officers on the perimeter. No sign of any bikes, no sign of any riot gear.
We need Obama now.
I want all the clergymen to come on up front. We got clergymen right over here. Come on up. I want the clergymen to come out here because we want to send a message.
We need Obama in that White House now. Something to be done.
Tomorrow, my service tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about this here. Bring the preacher back. Come on, preacher. How many preachers we got here? Come on up here, Reverend. Come on now. How many preachers we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where are the preachers at?
We're coming.
Where are the preachers?
We're coming.
We got another back here. Say something. Go ahead and say something, preacher. I know preachers like to talk. Go ahead and say something. We ain't gonna hold you back.
I just want to say that I'm glad to see so many people that are coming out today because they're concerned about what happened with George Floyd. I'm glad so many people are coming out today because they want to bear witness that this cannot happen again, that we need to make sure that our police are protecting us and taking care of us.
All right.
Particularly, I'm happy to see black and white and Latino and Asian and all people together because this is not just a black people issue. This is an all people issue. If all lives matter, then black lives matter more. That we're standing here.
All right, preacher.
We're standing here today to say we want you all to stand here and be protected.
Amen.
Not just by the police today, but we don't want anyone's life to ever be put at risk again.
All right.
That's
Yes, sir.
We want to make sure that all of our protests are peaceful.
Yes, sir.
That all of our protests, at the end of the day, we make our point, we make it firmly, but we make it safely home.
That's right.
We want to make sure that all of God's children's lives are respected and all of their lives are protected. And that's why we stand here with you, making sure that this vital message gets out. Amen?
And I want to say one more thing, and let them preach it. If you see anybody out here violating the law, y'all get together and talk to them. Let them know they ain't cool. We stand here for non-violence and we stand for right. So if you see one of your friends or somebody you know breaking into something, damage to police cars or breaking into stores, y'all group up around them and get them out of there. Right. Amen. Preacher, y'all want to say something, preacher? Anyone want preacher want to say something? Go ahead.
I'll just say that we've all heard it before, but just to reiterate to all of us that injustice and violence anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Amen. Amen.
So when I see all of us together, I want all of us together, starting with self, to remember to be committed, first of all, not just responding to what happened, but making sure that this is just not a flash in the pan,
All right now.
emotional, but to be committed. And I'm talking to myself first, to be committed, but then also to be consistent.
All right now.
Amen.
Come on, preacher. Yes, sir.
I'm so glad to see everybody out here. I'm glad to see so many white folks out here because the time for white silence is over.
All right now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The time for the silence of the white church is over.
Amen. Amen.
And white folks need to come out and say that we are done.
All right now. Yes, sir.
We're not going to have police abusing and oppressing black lives anymore.
All right now. Yes, sir.
What side are we on? Are we on the side of peace? Are we on the side of life? Are we on the side of love?
Yes, we on all them sides. Peace and love.
It is
Yes, sir.
time for us to stand. It's time for us to stand and put our lives on the line, to stand with our black and brown brothers and sisters.
Amen.
And to show them that their lives matter.
All right.
Yes, black lives matter.
Yes, sir.
Black lives matter. 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 Black lives matter.
Black lives matter. Ma'am, you want to say anything? I mean, Reverend? I'm sorry. Reverend. I'm sorry, Reverend. And you want to say something? All your Reverends out here. Forget this is your
I think
turn.
you all have already heard from many of my colleagues today that we want this to be peaceful, but we want also for our voices to be heard.
Yes,
ma'am.
What happened to George Floyd should never happen to another human being. Because all of us have a right to life. Yes. What happened to him should never happen to another human being. Because we are all people who are strengthened and we all have a voice and we need to let our voices be heard.
Yes.
We need to stand together. We need to be together. We cannot let this thing get out of hand. We have to stay together. We have to be together. We have to calm one another's emotions because emotions are running high. But we have to remember why we are doing what we're doing. We're doing this because we want to stand up for the rights of all people, but especially black people. Amen. Just said it. White people have to come up and stand up and do what's right, but we all have to do what is right. That's what we are all called to do what's right.
Amen.
And we need everybody here to stand together so that when we see anybody else or for the rest of this evening doing something that they ought not to do, they can bring harm to our police officers and to one another.
That's right. Stop them.
If we get round up and they have to step in, then we're going to have a combustible situation.
All right now. Yes.
We do not want that. We want peace, but we want justice. We want righteousness to stand, and we want to do what's right. Justice. No justice, no peace. If we want things to change, we have got to stay in solidarity with one another. Amen? Amen. Let's get this thing done. Let's get it done in the right way.
Amen. Now, the young lady that put this thing together, I want you to come up here. We just want to thank you. What's the young lady that put this organization here together? Is she here now?
Amen.
Hey, bro. Oh, yeah, come. I'm sorry. Come on up now. Come on, John. I apologize, John.
No, you're good. You're good. I appreciate that. My name's John. My pronouns are he, him, his. My heart is full.
All right
I look
now.
around and I see you all. I think on behalf of organized religion and on behalf of the church, we have to acknowledge and apologize that you're not in our church.
All right now. Yes, sir.
And I understand why. The church has done harm to too many people. And so I think the clergy you see out here,
Yes, sir.
we're out here in 2016. We're trying to understand that it's the same, but it's not the same. Because we've had 3.5 years of a president that wasn't president when Keith Lamont Scott was murdered.
Amen.
And so I want to call on all of my clergy friends, and we all see things differently. Go ahead and name and claim the sin of white supremacy in America. And that our job is not done.
All right now.
Until those words have been spoken, and spoken in places like this, not just in private or in safe places.
All right now.
So thank you for being a part of peace out here.
Yes, sir.
And that's why we're out here.
All right now.
And more of us are coming out here later today. And I pray to God that people that look like me will do more listening than talking.
All right now.
You gotta educate them.
Hi, everyone. rabbi of Temple Bethel here in Charlotte.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, but not so well, because one of the things that this has taught us is in the pandemic is that we're all in the same storm, but we're definitely not in the same boat.
You better say that.
Preach.
And that the country has experienced a magnification of the racism, a magnification of the inequities and inequalities that exist in our society through all of this. And we have to recognize and claim it, and there's nothing more clear than a group of white men dressed in army fatigues with weapons going to a Capitol building over unjust social distancing orders.
Say it loud. And nothing happened to them. Say it loud.
And then black men who are unarmed being pinned down and in a way that they can't breathe and do not survive.
Yes.
How is that possible? He's not an animal. He is human.
It is.
He's human.
There is no clearer show of the hypocrisy of racism.
White privilege.
And so our clergy who were here in 2016,
All right.
we're here again to stand with you and to be with you, but also to recognize that the work that we have to do will not end, and that there are things that our mayor and our police chief and our city manager and our city council that they can do today that will also make a difference.
That's right.
And so we have a role, and that is to act in polity, to act out, to be able to speak out and to vote. And we have a voice, and we have to use that voice to hold people accountable. So let's be the change that we want to be in the world.
Yes.
Let's create the world that we want to see.
Yes. Amen.
Marching hand in hand together towards the promise of tomorrow, but recognizing and being honest about the challenges and the difficulties today.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi.
Sorry. So as you can see so far, it's much more peaceful than it was last night. It's organized. People are taking turns speaking. I don't know if we're going to continue to march. Some people are hanging out in the shade across the street. It's really hot out. You just saw a bunch of different clergy members in the Charlotte area speak on how they feel. One of them that spoke was there last night. I'm going to try and talk to him real quick. Sorry, excuse me. Could I chat with you for a second on camera?
Sure.
So you were out last night.
Yeah.
I saw you. You were trying to keep the peace and everything like that. Can you just kind of talk about, how you felt about what you saw, how it progressed? It went from almost as peaceful as this to very violent over the course of a couple of hours. Just kind of, what your insight was, what you were trying to do. I saw you were right there by the police car that was being overwhelmed, trying to hold people back and everything. So I just wanted to get your perspective on it.
So, hello, my name is Rodney Sadler. I'm a associate professor of Bible and director of the Center for Social Justice and Reconciliation, and also the vice chair of the Charlotte Clergy Coalition for Justice. I came out because I think this is where we as clergy need to be. We need to be standing with the people and bearing witness with the people that we need to see a change. That the way policing is taking place in this nation is hurting black and brown people disproportionately. That black and brown people are afraid to live their normal lives because they're afraid of what can happen to them. We've seen what's taken place, not just with George Floyd and not just with many other people like Tamir Rice, a child, Jonathan Farrell, a man in an accident that were killed when they were seeking help. But we've seen what happens far too often in our country, and we think that something needs to be done. As I watched what took place yesterday, one of the things that disturbed me most is what could have been a peaceful protest, a peaceful way of grieving together collectively, turned into something that was violent and harsh. Now, I mean, a part of it, people want to say that it's because of the police and their actions, but the police were doing all sorts of things to provide the de-escalation tactics that they have been trained in, and we're trying to do a great job with that. I saw people in the crowd who were inciting the peaceful protesters to engage in acts of violence, and that frightened me and that disturbed me. I think that we need to protest, we need to make our voices heard, but we need to choose to do so in a peaceful way. In that way, not only do we maintain the moral high ground, but we show that Black lives really do matter. Because it doesn't make any sense to put Black lives at risk because we want to kick a police bicycle, or we want to smash a police car window, or we want to attack a police officer. That's going to put more Black lives at risk. That doesn't make any sense at this point in time. Dr. King said it long ago, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If we want to see justice, then we have to act in just ways to manifest that. I believe in the young people that are protesting. I believe in the attitude and the spirit in which they come. And I think that we need to support that as clergy. And I think that we all need to make sure that what we do is nonviolent, but forceful, that it is expressive of our larger concerns, but it does so in a way that respects the dignity of every human being.
Very well said. Does it make you more proud to see a more peaceful gathering today out here? Yeah.
I'm so pleased to see not just a more peaceful gathering, but that some of my sister and brother clergy have also come out today. I'm glad to see these young people who are engaging and listening and trying to find out what's going on. This is the kind of change that we need to see. And we need to take this change and move it from the streets to the government building right around the corner and help to change the policies that are impacting negatively Black and brown people.
Absolutely.
Only then will we have true victories in the long run.
Perfect. Now, of course, there's a chance that this could turn out the way last night did. There's always a chance. If that happens, are you going to be out here again? You're going to be in?
I think that I want to be here as long as there are people whose lives are at risk.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. He was actively in the crowd last night trying to keep peaceful protest. From what you saw is obviously to no avail, but I witnessed him at least 50 times trying to get protesters away from the police vehicles, get protesters away from the bikes. Now, he specifically mentioned the kicking of the police bicycles. That was the first instance of violence that happened. And 99% of the people who were kicking those bicycles were white. They were not Black and brown, and then inadvertently put Black and brown lives at risk. So I think that's just the point he was getting at, but I wanted you to hear it in his words. I will take that clip later separately, and it will be shared. I'm going to be going through all of the videos from last night and whatever video we get from today, taking the most important pieces, and they'll be on our website. A lot of people hanging over here. It's a lot cooler over here. This is Trade Street and South Davidson Street, the headquarters of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. They have both directions of the road blocked off, from Caldwell to North Alexander. So if you want to come here, there is a parking lot across the street. Please only come here if you're looking to peacefully protest, if you're looking to stand in solidarity, if you're looking to hold a sign, if you're looking to work on ways to make change. If you're coming out here to be violent, I don't think anybody here wants that. I don't see anybody from last night that was violent out here right now. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, snake mouth guy. I think I got that snake on video 3 times, so I'm gonna pull all of them, just because personally that was my favorite experience from last night. Still, very calm. Thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that. They're chanting, "We must vote." People were given the right to vote so that we as a civilization can choose who represents us. When it comes time to vote this November, no matter which way you're going to vote, please go vote. Vote in your local elections. If you have an issue with the way that your local police department treats their citizens, then you need to vote on a local level. You need to vote for your city council members. You need to vote for your sheriff. You need to vote for your county commissioners. You need to vote for the people that impact your life directly where you live. Because I'm live streaming and I don't have my team out here with me again. Grant, my photographer, is out here, but he's on assignment with a different publication. Ryan's not here yet. If you guys know of any protests happening in a different part of the city that I need to go to, please let me know in the comments. Right now, this is the only gathering that I'm aware of. People are trickling in about between 2 and 5 at a time. Yeah, there was a guy that walked up toward the very end, around midnight 30. He was saying it was ridiculous. He was saying the protest was weak because we weren't setting anything on fire. That's wrong. You shouldn't set things on fire. If you think that way, fine. But he was just talking in the background of the video to somebody else. He wasn't talking to me. Since everything's calm, I'm going to get close and let you guys listen to what people are actually saying. You see the...
That could have been your gift. That could have been your weapon. That could have been your home. That stick in your brain. You got to make a change.
Can I slide in here? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. It's traumatizing. Stop the social media murder porn. Thank you. All right? He was fucking murdered like an animal. The dude's human. He bleeds the same fucking blood we do. It's not fair.
No.
We are out here today for him, and he should be here. That's right. Stop the keyboard talk. Stop the social media talk and get out here.
I'm gonna go up there, get you a better shot.
No peace! Police! No justice! No peace! No racist! Police! No peace! No racist! Police! No justice! No peace! No racist! Police! No justice! No peace! No racist! Police! Show them what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show them what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
I'm starting to see more protesters from last night show up.
This is what democracy looks like.
I still don't recognize anybody that was being violent, but this crowd is going to grow.
This is what democracy looks like. Don't shoot.
Yeah, I gave that guy his power bank back like right as I got off last night. I've got 3 power banks with me today. I'm at 73%. I wanted to take a picture. Yeah, so far this is a very nice protest. A lot of individual conversations. It's more well organized. Obviously there were questions about how last night's was organized, that it was put together by outsiders who were just looking to incite violence in a predominantly black and brown neighborhood. Now we're in front of CMPD's headquarter building in Uptown, the intersection of South Davidson Street, East Trade Street. The road is closed in both directions, but it's a very peaceful gathering. They want the police, they want one of the officers to do a speech. I just got up on this thing. I don't want to get down and go over there. I want to just be loud. Hey, Grant. Braxton's on his way. If you were watching last night or if you read the news at all, you know that Braxton Winston, our city council member at large, was arrested last night for unlawful gathering. I think the charge was actually failure to disperse. He had a $1,000 bond. He's on his way here. I wouldn't be surprised if he stands up and makes a speech. So if he does, we'll get close to him. Ooh, look, a dog. Just a wee little dog. A doggy. There is parking on South Davidson Street. If you go past the police station, down South Davidson Street toward Martin Luther King, there's some street parking over there. There's a parking lot across the street here. There's a few parking lots. If you just drive down South Davidson Street, you'll find a place to park if you're gonna come. Yeah, Randy, we heard from one of the officers earlier. I think I'm gonna get down from my perch and try and go get closer to what they're saying. All right, Misty, you don't gotta yell. I'll go. Excuse me. Sorry.
You got little children right here.
Yeah, and hopefully these little children won't be shot in the street.
Thanks, MJ.
Or just because they walk, or singing, or dancing, or cooking.
You can't tell them how to breathe. That's how they do it. That's how we've been doing it for centuries. That's how we've been doing it for centuries.
I hope we're never in that situation as a community. That's us. You know, because that's what Minneapolis, that's them for everybody. I don't want that to be us. We're not better. We're better than that. And that's why I'm out here to make sure that, you know, I'm not scared right now. I'm not even scared. I still work with it, and I agree with the call. You know, and that's why I'm here.
I need to get a microphone for this thing.
Take them over, baby. They know.
Shout out Snug Harbor, super awesome hat.
Why we always got to be playing around and come here and be nice. They've been fucking us up for years. I'm over that shit. I'm over that. I'm over it. They've been coming here and fucking us up, beating us the fuck up, and killing us for years.
You know what? You deserve to speak your voice.
Thank you. He's talking about the kids. He's talking about the kids. The kids gotta grow up in this shit. They could be the next ones to get killed. Tamir Wright was 9 years old. They killed him for no reason. And you gonna tell us to be nice? I'm not being nice. They should have stayed peaceful as long as they keep it peaceful. Because as soon as they turn it up, I'm turning it up.
It takes a lawyer years to go to school. Police officers, what, a couple weeks? A couple months? Years to go.
You can hear the same thing when you're little, and then it's getting older.
They can't come out here on the street and get shit out that gun. I bet you that.
I seen your, but I was like, I'm gonna get that. I'm glad. I like your sign though because.
Protest hasn't grown that much. I'm not gonna comment on that Trump thing, but
Jesus Christ loves you guys.
very peaceful out here. The group's not growing too much. It's still early, it's hot. Historically, you know that protests get more violent as it gets dark, so. Well, the thing about asking these police officers specifically, which I did, I talked to Lieutenant Fairbach over there earlier, and I'll cut that clip out and put it up separately later. The thing about interviewing police officers who are part of a community outreach team is they represent such a small handful of the force altogether. And that's what's difficult. Of course, there's only a few bad apples in the police departments. Some people will argue that all police are bad. Some will say it's just a handful. But the thing is when you ask people who are here for a public relation meeting, they're here to tell you what they think you should hear. So we'll listen to them. Absolutely. I already talked to Fairbach, like I said, but I can, there's a captain out here who was pretty vocal yesterday. I can talk to him and see what he's got to say for you guys. Are there any questions specifically that somebody would want me to ask? I understand that. There's a sign out here that says if 10 cops see something and don't do something against 100 cops or something like that, and there's 110 bad cops. Totally get it. Are there any specific questions that you would want me to ask? Circle's kind of breaking up a little bit, probably just because it's hot. There's some shade across the street. Oh, you know what? I am going to ask that. That's a good question. Let me find this guy.
Everybody should be on their phones.
Excuse me, sorry.
Texting 10 friends. Tell them to come down.
Can I chat with you for a second?
Yeah, of course.
So I know that you were one of the first officers out with the group last night.
Yes.
To come out and talk. I know that you're part of a volunteer organization. I kind of just have one question for you because I already talked to Lieutenant Fairbach.
Okay.
How would you react if one of your fellow officers had their knee on a black person's neck and he said he couldn't breathe and he felt like he was going to die? What would you personally do in that situation?
I'd be compelled by the department to rip that officer off of him and then report him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to do.
So it's not something that you would place him under arrest for. You would just intervene and report.
Well, you'd have to.
Yeah.
To intervene. I mean, I think from a humanity standpoint, you would have to intervene because but here's the thing. It depends on for several minutes. I mean, let's just say it happened immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say he went down, maybe the knee slipped off the back, and they're like, hey, whatever your name is, get your knee off his neck right now. You're not supposed to do that. And the fact that happens, that can be explained. But the fact that if you kept it there, I think, in that position for that long, and let's say I come up then, and I'm like, crap, the dude's passed out. Yeah, that would go to internal affairs, and when they do these investigations, they run a parallel criminal investigation as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes, and in Charlotte, these cases are presented to the district attorney's office. We have a great district attorney, and so there's not only an internal process, but there's also a criminal process that's get done, and they really need to work together.
Absolutely.
So then that evidence would make a determination. And I'll give you some examples. We've arrested officers, for example, that have been involved in traffic fatalities. Maybe a day or two will go by to look at all the evidence, and okay, we have enough to draw a charge, then we would do that.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, private citizens are afforded that same thing as well. They don't always make immediate arrests. Sometimes cases go before the grand jury before people are charged. Sometimes people are charged, charges are dropped, and then they're reinstated again. It's a long process.
Yeah.
Honestly, an ADA is the best person to kind of talk about that because obviously the ADA has the ultimate decision about
for the criminal process, yes. But I think what more people are interested now in
the. What we do here is. I know if there's something that looks that's one of those bikes I want to get, the electric bike right there.
Huh, a Tesla? That's pretty cool.
No, it's not a Tesla. It's called a rad bike.
That's pretty cool. But keep going.
Yeah. So the district attorney has to be consulted on any matters that we deem to be criminal in nature. And for the case that we're talking, let's just say it was maybe somebody reported it for 30 seconds and then he didn't die. That's still something that would be considered excessive, potentially have a criminal charge. An excessive force violation if there's a criminal act that if they have what's called the mens rea, the criminal intent, okay, that's present in this, then and not like, oh, I didn't know my leg had slipped because I was watching the crowd, and not in that case. In that case, you could, you saw a hand in the pocket and he was just intently looking at the people. And I think the one guy who might have been an MMA fighter was like explaining to him, hey, this is what you're doing to him right now. Can you stop? But those cases, that aggravates it and would probably see a criminal charge filed. In this case, he obviously passed away, succumbed to the injury he sustained, and then he saw a charge. Honestly, I think they're still early in that investigation. I would assume, I don't know at what point the federal government, how they're carrying it on as well, but certainly I guess the county attorney, the district attorney in that case would have to see if they file a criminal charge against the other officers.
Sure.
Certainly, I can tell you, like with a standard criminal case, if you somehow participate or contribute with a felony being committed, then you're somewhat culpable as well, and you're some culpability. This is my understanding of the law and what I've been taught, certainly. So, potentially there could be more charges, but we expect our officers to do that.
But that's the criminal aspect, and right. I think what more people are interested in change-wise is what we had started on, where you say personally, you would absolutely intervene if you saw something like that.
Yeah. I think actually a lot. I would like to think all our officers would do it or have that same level of commitment. But the other thing is that, given varying degrees of experience and maybe they don't know what's going on, I think in that case the officer that was there as well, I think the officer you saw standing.
The standing one.
I think he had been on for a long time. So that expectation here is like, hey, you've been on for this amount of time. How did you not know what he was doing was wrong? You saw him, you looked at him. You're being told by several people what's going on. You could at least look and say, hey, dude, you need to stop before something happens to him. And I think I'm not sure, the preliminary autopsy might have said something about positional asphyxia. I'm not sure. I think it did say that. Somebody sent me like a little blurb about it. But that is something we talk about. And I know in our training here in the state for law enforcement officers, positional asphyxia, it's discussed because of the potential for it to occur. And actually, the most mundane of circumstances. Let's say a person, for example, is a heavier build. They're more likely to suffer from it because as they lay down and maybe their hands are behind their back, the pressure starts to be here. Then it's like how we're prohibited from hog tying people, what they were talking about, where you would have their ankles, together with their hands. Because how much pressure that puts on the rib cage and then the diaphragm can't move up and down.
Sure.
So it's really, there's a lot of moving parts to it, but clearly you can see in that video what's wrong with it.
Yeah, and definitely from an outsider's perspective, any police force across the country is viewed as a fraternity of sorts. And so most people would assume that officers wouldn't want to intervene because of, like you see in the movies, you snitch on an officer and then everybody hates you.
So let me tell you about the culture we have here. The culture we have here is that you have to report. The culture we have here is that. And I can tell you, I've filed complaints on other officers. And you see something that you know is wrong, you have to step up. And sometimes, honestly, it's what you can live with. Could I live with myself at the end of the day by seeing that and not saying something? Have I intervened before with other officers that I work with? Yeah, we have. So really, it's a lot of moving pieces to it, but I think what you're asking ultimately is that, does that training exist with us? And it does.
Mm-hmm.
And, what is the right thing to do? The right thing to do would be to intervene and stop it from happening.
Yeah. Okay.
And then report up as well, so there's accountability.
Sure, of course.
And certainly we're not going to hide something that's criminal in nature. Like I said, we've arrested officers before. It's not the first time, it won't be the last time. I mean, if I commit a criminal act and I know what the expectations are, I'm going to get arrested.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Captain Chicory. Nice. Thanks. I believe they offer that. Actually, I can ask Grant. Grant, the public can participate in a scaled back training week with the CMPD, right?
Yeah, it's called the CMPD Citizens Academy.
CMPD Citizens Academy. Yeah.
It's not like I went through it last fall, and it's not a I want to be a police officer, this is how I do it kind of thing. It's more of a transparency program.
Sure.
And they do everything from talk to you about what police are allowed to do constitutionally, what CMPD's policies are, and they also talk about, do things like take you on a ride along. If you want to, it's optional. If it's not something that you're into, you get to tour of CMPD facilities. It's actually very interesting. And I gotta say, from the viewpoint of a journalist, I didn't feel like they were trying to sell anything.
Sure.
People asked them some very hard questions, and they gave some very honest, hard answers.
Yeah.
So, for what it's worth, and it's, any Charlotte team can sign up for it, and it's free. I would say if you wanted to engage with, find out more about how CMPD operates, that's a way to do it.
Yeah. So if anybody out there wants to have a firsthand experience of what it's like to train as a CMPD officer, you can A, apply for a job, or B, you can do the CMPD Citizens Academy to answer some of the questions that you just asked. As far as the comment on he's just saying what we want to hear, I speculated on that over there. All of these officers out here are volunteers for a community outreach program, which means they're essentially here for public relations. But I asked him his personal opinion, and that's what he gave us. So, cool.
Can I ask something about
Please.
The Citizens Academy?
Yeah.
I would suggest to any of my fellow journalists to take that.
Sure.
I genuinely would, because it will help inform you about when you see something that's going on that is not up to par. You'll have an understanding of what kind of policies were broken by an individual officer, and what was the expectation by CMPD.
Sure.
So I think journalists should take it.
Good point.
Where can I find your stuff, man? The Nerve?
Yeah, Queen City Nerve, yeah.
Queen City Nerve?
We've got a website. We've got newspapers, free newspapers all throughout the county. There's about 6,000 of them in Uptown alone. We've got a website, qcnerve.com. All of our social media is just at Queen City Nerve. We're Charlotte's alternative newspaper.
I'm gonna definitely check you guys out. This is the first time I've seen one of you guys, so I'm gonna definitely tap in.
Yeah, we do a lot of coverage that doesn't get covered in mainstream media. That's our job. If there are 10 TV stations out here and a couple of mainstream outlets that do written journalism, they're all going to cover the same stories, and they're going to cover one side of the story. We do both sides. We do different stories: arts, culture, music, news. So,
cool stuff, man.
Yeah, check it out. I hope you like it.
Oh, definitely.
I didn't hear what happened at North Lake last night. So as you can see, it's very calm. It's just a gathering.
We all we got. Save our children. We all we got. Save our children. Jesus saves. Somebody leaving the phone.
I haven't seen any anti-protesters, though. These guys are at least questionable to me. But, whatever. Thanks, Victoria. I'll keep doing the best I can. Grab a drink of water because I brought water with me this time.
Ready.
Jeff, this is the CMPD headquarters in Uptown, intersection of South Davidson and East Trade Street. This is not a follow-up protest from last night. This is a separately organized protest. It started as a White Allies rally at Marshall Park. After some of the speakers spoke to the crowd, they gathered and walked up to the headquarters building. Both directions of traffic are blocked off. There's really not any cars out, though. It's very calm. People are spaced out. The community outreach officers are here. Same group as last night. Just interacting with people. We spoke with a couple of them already. I'll probably speak with some more later if anybody has questions they want me to ask. You ask if any closed murder cases by the... Probably. I don't know. Nobody's yelling. We've got one officer talking to a group here, one officer talking to a group here, a one-on-one interaction there, a one-on-one interaction there. I don't know why this officer decided to wear his long-sleeve uniform. That's ridiculous. Maybe he should be trained on that. But very calm, very passive. Doesn't seem like anybody here has any intentions of being violent. Yeah, exhausted. At least it's peaceful for right now. All right, I'm gonna pause you guys again because I gotta check.
I really liked your live tweeting last night.
I was on Facebook Live. I did the 7 hours of recording. The tweeting was Ryan.
That's insane. How does your phone even stay?
Once I go into low battery mode, it'll do whatever. It'll hang on for hours. And I had one battery pack, but it died. I got down to 1% after I got hit with a rubber bullet, and the protest is pretty much over.
Were those like the pepper ball things? Or?
They were shooting pepper balls and rubber bullets.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought I saw like your tweet was like, never mind, it was rubber bullets, but I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get to read the tweets that Ryan was putting out, but
Gotcha.
I got hit with pepper balls, I got hit with rubber bullets, tear gas, smoke canisters, flashbangs. Actually, Ryan and I both got hit with flashbangs. He had one explode right there, and then I had one explode right there. So far, this has been super peaceful. I only see a handful of people out here that were there last night, but they also weren't being violent. So, all the officers that are out here.
Are they just having dialogue?
Yeah, so they were the ones that walked out when everybody got to the police station yesterday. They are volunteers. They're part of a community outreach program. So they've got a captain, a lieutenant, a sergeant, all the way down to street operational. And yeah, they're just out here having dialogue.
It's cool that you guys are hiring a new person too.
Digital editor.
That was
yeah.
off topic.
Yeah, if anybody here wants to start a career in journalism, we're hiring a digital editor. Yeah, it's fun. We've got a lot of stuff in the works right now that we're looking to expand on, starting right there. Yeah, we can only do as much coverage as we can. I stay super busy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And Ryan can only do as much as he can. And there are so many things that we have to pass up reporting on just because we don't have the manpower.
Yeah, even our team of 10, it feels that way, like constantly. We can't do enough.
Yeah.
There's always so much more.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is here. So this started as a White Allies rally at Marshall Park. So the organizers aren't with the group anymore because they didn't plan on leaving. So they just kind of gathered, walked up here. So I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if they just plan to stand here all day or for a couple hours, or if they plan to march, or if more people are going to come out, or if it'll turn into a riot. Like, there's no telling.
Of course, you can't go anywhere without Jesus Saves guy.
Oh, he was getting blown up on here last night on there.
Really?
Yeah, we had over 1 million people watching the videos from last night, and he was not popular.
1 million?
Yeah.
That's nuts. And have you and Ryan just been working like completely remotely too?
Yeah.
Throughout all this?
Yeah, it's been nice because we can work longer. Like, you don't have to waste your time driving to the office or driving back home. So it's like, as soon as I wake up, I roll out of bed, I sit down at my kitchen table, I start working until 10 p.m.
I totally get that. I moved last week, so I took the week off because I couldn't do it both.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you're right, it never turns off.
And I've spent the entire time innovating and finding new sources of revenue and stuff.
The subscription model.
Yeah, we did the coloring book, which was a huge success. It finally arrived at people's houses yesterday.
Awesome. It was so funny. I saw a local artist had a coloring page on I think it was West Elm or some really big, and I sent it to Ted. I was like, we should do a coloring book. He's like, that's a really good idea. And literally that afternoon, you guys posted a coloring book. I was like, well, a great idea. They beat us to it.
I would have been absolutely so mad.
Really awesome. No, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't care who does it, as long as it gets out there.
One of our alternative papers in Chicago was the first one to do it, and they kind of shared the idea with all the publishers.
Great idea.
And then I've got a couple of other ideas for the food and beverage industry and the music industry to do special publications as well.
Cool.
And then I did that entire website redesign, and we've just been having fun, I suppose. Sorry, Helen. There's not really anything going on. Trust me, if something happens, I will record it and I will tell you what's happening. But if you like to color, we do have a Charlotte-centric coloring book for sale that was created by 45 local artists, and 50% of the profits go back to them to support them during the COVID-19 crisis. Shameless plug. Hey, it's a good coloring book. I know that you guys want me to keep kind of showing you what's been going on out here. It's super peaceful, super docile right now. There's nothing going on at all. So I'm gonna actually hop off here to save battery and kind of just see what else is going on around the city. And I will get back on this later, so just stay tuned. Yeah. I'll put a link to the coloring book in the comments. We'll see you.